There are approximately 21.8 million of veterans in the United States of America, 10% of whom are women.
Clinical depression and post-traumatic stress disorders are the most common mental health issues among returning troops.
22 veterans commit suicide a day, making 18% of the entire suicide rate in the U.S.
21% of veterans returning from deployment faces divorce due to stress of military service.
It was something I always knew I would be good at, and then I didn't really have the grades to go to college at the time, and I couldn't afford it on my own. So
I was always fascinated with the military as a child. My grandpa served in the Army, uncle in the Marines.
Since I was young, I've been around the military, and the military just kind of worked with me, worked with what I like to do, so I'd say that's why.
Big ones would just be relatives. My grandpa was in the Army during the Korean War. Lots of aunts and uncles have served in World War II, Vietnam, and I just always felt like it was my duty as a citizen of this country to give up part of my life to defend the values and way of life I have every day.
it definitely changed it, just because a lot of people think of war and everything pretty much like what the news talks about and what movies talk about.
Joining the military, I had this picture in my mind about the military being, you know, this group of people getting ready for war and preparing for battle, and I would envision war movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, now it's pretty obvious that, to me at least, that the military is an instrument that different governments use to push different agendas.
No, not really. I still see peace in a different and in the same way.
I don't think the definition of peace changed. I still think it's just the definition of peace is no violence.
I think my definition of peace is still the same. I think it's definitely different on how I look and how we achieve peace.
Everybody has a different opinion on how the world should work, and nobody's really willing to compromise on how it should work.
Does the world work? Yes and no. We seem to be a bit divided as of late, which is concerning.
Yeah, there's a couple. I'm sure y'all have all heard the phrase "drink like a sailor" or "cuss like a sailor," or, you know, those phrases. And actually, another stigma is, and my wife just brought it up, is PTSD or mental health.
Oh, later, like, apologized, like, oh, I didn't know you had PTSD. And I was like, I don't have PTSD. And I was like, not everyone in the military has PTSD. Like,
not all veterans are the same. I just wish that lots of people could see that, just like in every other aspect of the world, not everyone is the same in their service. Some gave a lot more than others did. And I think that should be seen by a lot of people, rather than just lumping them all into the same category.
Here I would say probably just blatant disrespect for like the flag and for people in uniform.
Feel disrespected when people who never served in the military try to tell us what we fight for, why we serve. They've never served themselves. They don't know.
It's funny because they were protesting about getting rid of the military. You know, it's funny because I find it so funny because I am leaving my wife for 6 months to go to the Middle East to ensure that these protesters have their freedom of speech. And these protesters are using their freedom of speech to protest against the people who are preserving their freedom of speech.
It's always nice to get a thank you for your service every now and then, but it's not, I wouldn't really say there's anything.
When people genuinely thank me for my service, that's nice.
If you can actually look back and see things that might have changed from your service, or you can see other people you might influence through your service, that's the best cultural interaction.
What better way to say thank you than to send handwritten letters that express our gratitude towards your service to this country. We are aware that the simple thank you letter uplifts their spirit and restores peace in their hearts.
We decided to wear yellow ribbons, which symbolizes the support for our troops, to raise awareness about the mental illness surrounding veteran suicide. We encourage others to also wear yellow ribbons, and they willingly agreed on supporting our veterans.
An additional way we chose to show our appreciation for our troops and veterans was to get together and bake Christmas cookies. These Christmas cookies will be taken and sent overseas to troops currently deployed and serving our country.
The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude. Each of us was born in a different part of the world, and we have now grown to call the U.S. home. Because we love our veterans, we have come together as a chapter and decided to show our appreciation in our own little way. Once again, thank you.